Good morning. Thank you, sir. Hey everyone, I'm Katie. You saw me in my last video about Kenya. TJ, he couldn't make it for this video, unfortunately. He had an appointment to run to, so I'll be just talking about the Kenya safari trip. I want to make a disclaimer before I get started, is that I will be talking about the company I support, efultimatebreak. Although I did not go to Kenya with this company, I still want to talk about it because you will see a bunch of what we saw with efultimatebreak. But I would still love if you like, subscribed, hit the button, left a comment below, and without further ado, let's go. So the safari is definitely once in a lifetime. It's amazing. We had such a great time. About 15 people from our trip went, and we were able to just see so many amazing animals that God created. Some animals we saw were the big five. I want to touch on that. Africa has big five animals, which is the lion, elephant, rhino, leopard, and Cape buffalo. Now, we only saw 3 of the big 5. We were not in peak migration season. That's in like the summer seasons, like June to September. We went in January, so we weren't in peak migration season, but that's perfectly fine. We saw, of the big 5, lion, elephant, and Cape buffalo. We did not see a rhino or a leopard. So, just another reason to go back, but still, it was an amazing experience. I'll set kind of the background. So the safari was only like 3.5 days, wasn't very long. Basically, we took like a small plane, like one of those where you have to calculate your weight, otherwise the plane will tank. But thankfully we all made it. Anyways, we took 2 of those small planes to the Maasai Mara National Park. And National Park is beautiful. It just stretches for miles. It's quite something to experience. Hey guys, we made it. This airplane got us to where we're going. Thank goodness. A lot of people are getting pictures. But yeah, there's not a whole lot out here. We're just waiting for the second plane to land. So anyways, we landed on the airstrip and went to our hotel. I want to give a big shout out to Serena Hotels, which primarily is like a safari hotel, so they have land cruisers to be able to take their hotel guests out to the safari, and they have the guides who are so familiar with animals and like fun facts about them. So they have a whole setup, but anyways, our hotel lodge was so beautiful. Looking out, all you could see is just miles of just land. We were really felt like we're in the middle of nowhere. This lodge was actually the only lodge that was on the Maasai Mara National Park. So I think that's something to be like, wow, we are so blessed to be on, staying here. But we went for 4 safaris. We went the first night we got there, we went a night drive. Then the next day we went a morning and a night drive. And then the day we left, we went a morning drive. So we only did 4, but I think that was good. Sometimes it's like, how many times can you see an elephant? But it was still incredible. Some of the animals we saw were elephants, hippos, lions, ostrich, jackals, which are kind of like foxes, birds, many birds. We saw warthogs. We saw, I'm trying to think, Cape buffalo. We saw antelope, different species, zebras, baby elephants, so cute, giraffes. Yeah, those were pretty much the main ones we saw. And I think we had a good assortment of things we saw, and it was just once in a lifetime. I have footage I'll insert in.
Oh, they're gonna flip. I'm so sorry, buddy.
Hey, bud. Oh, maybe I can put the sun in the back.
Yeah, let's take it.
I was peeing.
He's pretty much fun.
Yeah. Cute.
That's crazy.
Elephant crossing. Oh. Cute. Or maybe. Yeah. Oh, what's everything?
That's crazy.
Oh my gosh. That is the precious thing ever. Love this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh my god, they're all crossed. Yeah, definitely.
That's crazy.
Oh. Oh my gosh. That baby's precious.
Just like smacked you with the snout.
Jaden, I hope you're getting good pics.
Oh yeah, get the little guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Gumbo.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Oh, let's get it all over.
Oh.
I've got that so many times. You're really
So it's like an artist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But it was amazing to experience it not only with TJ but just my other group members. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time, and the lodge was so quaint and perfect. And looking around, because we were kind of on a hill, you could just see giraffes grazing from the pool. I'm like, you can't say that every day. But anyways, part of the second full day we were there, we were able to stop for lunch or like a brunch at one of their partner, like their kind of partner place to have brunch. But anyways, it's right by a river full of hippos. So I have on my Instagram, you can follow me. I love that. I have so many posts from Kenya. But anyways, I captioned it "Hungry, Hungry Hippos" because that's what it was. I mean, we had brunch right by where hippos were residing, so it was just amazing. And I think the lion And we saw lionesses too. We didn't see any cubs, but it's alright. We saw Simba and Nala, which that's what I wanted to see, definitely. Simba grown up, I should say. But something about seeing the lion was just very awe-striking. It was an injured lion. It was kind of like God just dropped the lion right there, because usually you have to look for lions in like the grass and in the landscape, which can be very hard to find. But with the lion now, it was just literally on the side of the road, and it was injured, so it was like kind of limping, but it was really amazing just to see an animal in its natural habitat. And like that's the way you gotta see an animal, and animals should be, is in their natural habitats, not confined in the zoo, although I'm sure they take great care of them in the zoo, but just out in their natural habitat. And the way the Bible describes a lion and God as being a lion, like he's a lion of Judah and he's fighting our battles, just kind of got me very emotional. So that was something. And then, of course, seeing the elephants and the baby elephants. Some of the baby elephants we saw were only 2 weeks old, so their trunks would just flop around. They wouldn't have really any motor movement in their trunks. And I have a joke. What's the difference between an African elephant and an Asian elephant? The distance. No. No, it's actually the shape of their ears. So African elephant is literally the shape of Africa. And then an Asian elephant is more kind of like smaller and circular. So, fun facts to know. Hey, hey, hey. This is Katie and TJ again.
Hi, everyone.
We're here, this is day 10-11. We are on our safari. And it's been awesome. It's truly been a great experience. It could be a little better if I had my phone. It's caused a couple problems between us. But, my spirit's pretty down, but the safari is definitely lifting me up. But what have we seen, TJ?
Our first night, so we got in yesterday about 3, so we ate lunch, and then at 4:30, we went on our night safari, and we saw elephants, giraffes, buffalo, what else? Crocodiles,
Hippos.
Hippos, lioness, and
I think that was the main. Just like
baby elephants.
Antelope. Antelope and just like different animals.
Smaller
ones that you could typically see anywhere.
And then some morning at 6:30, what did we see?
We saw lions, like
3.
actual male lions.
Yes.
That both got us kind of emotional. It was beautiful. I think that was honestly the highlight of my safari.
Yes.
We also saw more hippos, giraffes. We also saw giraffes yesterday.
Yeah.
Zebras, that was new
zebras,
today.
Hyenas.
Yeah, that was awesome. Definitely Lion King going on.
Oh, yeah. And the greatest part was we're so close to Tanzania that we're actually on the border.
Yeah.
So we actually got to take a hop, skip, and a jump, and we were in Tanzania, and then we jumped back over to Kenya.
Yeah, I'll attach pictures when I put the full video together, but we were able to go to Tanzania for like 5 seconds. So.
Yeah, so really awesome.
Do you count that on the list of countries we've been to?
I'd say let us know, but I'd say yes.
I'd say yes, yeah. I'll count it.
If my foot's in the ground, it counts.
Yeah. But, that was a fun little excursion. The rest of it, we got back. Oh, we had a beautiful breakfast at, I call it the Hungry Hippos, because...
There was hippos right there by us in the river. Which river is that?
I don't know.
But yeah, we were, after our safari, they drove us down, and we actually got to eat breakfast in the middle of the wilderness, right where hippos and crocodiles are all at, hanging out with us.
Yeah, it was cute. They were adorable. One baby hippo actually got out of the water. The hippos typically are like immersed in the water to keep the sun off of them. But we had one little baby hippo came out of the water, which is so cute.
It was really awesome. And
sunbathed. Time to flip over.
So we'll let you guys, we'll keep you updated, and we'll see you next time.
Oh, and we're going to the Maasai tribal
So
visit in a little bit. So
yep. So
that'll be
Maasai
interesting.
tribe. We'll get to see them today, and it'll be really cool just to see the traditional tribe and how they live.
Yeah,
so it'll
and
be awesome.
then we're doing evening safari, so that'll be really
Yes.
fun. I gotta save my camera battery because dumb me forgot my chargers to
Church.
Just there's a lot going on right now. But anyways, we're in a beautiful hotel. There's a beautiful flipping view behind
Yeah.
us.
And-
We can see giraffes if you look closely. If we go more by the pool area, we can see giraffes from our hotel. Like, when is that going to happen again?
Yeah. So we'll keep you guys updated, and
Yeah.
in 2 days we'll be home.
So, like I wanted to say earlier, that I did not go to Kenya with EF Ultimate Break, although I would love to, and maybe someday in the future. But I do want to highlight the safari. And I want to say that Kenya EF Ultimate Breaks trip offers a safari in Kenya, obviously. And they go to multiple different places to have a safari. They go to Kenya National Park, which is or Nairobi National Park, I should say. And that's a hot spot to actually see rhinos. They go to Maasai Mara, and they go a few other places. I'll attach pictures. But basically, one other thing I want to mention is that we went to kind of a little excursion. We went to a Maasai Mara tribe, which is also what EF Ultimate Break offers on their trips. But anyways, it was really interesting seeing their tribe and how they do things. You know, they're kind of in the middle of nowhere too. They have a school system for their children. They have practices and rituals. For instance, the chief of the tribe the men practice polygamy, so they can have multiple wives and be okay with it. But they don't all have to, but I know the chief does, for sure, have like 7 wives. And then some of the customs was for little boys to get circumcised at the age of 15 without any painkillers and without showing signs of pain to become a man. They would also have to kill a lion, which they don't do anymore, thank goodness, to also show that they're, finally a man. Now they practice a jumping ceremony. Go, TJ! Get in there, TJ! This ceremony is for the bachelors, and basically is to impress the ladies. So it's who can jump the highest, and whoever can probably impress a woman so much that now they can become, husband and wife. So it's interesting, and they eat off the land, goats, nuts, veggies, stuff like that. And then they have beautiful clothing. They live in kind of like huts that have no electricity whatsoever. And they're fairly small. They're kind of a little bigger than the size of my room. So it was really breathtaking to see their culture and, incorporated in the Maasai Mara tribe. And we got to experience and talk to some people, and they were able to speak English, and the kids, they are learning English and Swahili. So they did have a school system set for kids, which I thought was great, because children do need an education, they need stuff to do. So if you go with EF Ultimate Break, I definitely recommend doing this excursion with the Maasai tribe. Yeah, so how tourists coordinate is they do partner with local lodges and hotels in the area to be able to have tourists and make some income They also sell a bunch of their jewelry that you can buy handmade. TJ got a tribal figures. He gave that to his family. So I have a picture of it. But it was handmade. It was beautiful. And you could barter for it too. It wasn't like set prices. But I absolutely recommend doing that excursion. You won't be able to do that again. So I have the EF Ultimate Break Kenya African Safari trip. And I want to just take a moment to share what EF Ultimate Break is. I have a video explaining the ins and outs of the company. But in a short recap, it's for 18 to 29-year-olds. If you travel again with the company, you can travel till you're 33. But basically, they have 70 plus locations that go around the world. You can pick the type of trip you want, whether it's longer, shorter, more tropical, mountain, hiking, lounge. You can pick the time of the year you want to go. You can pick the airport you go out of. Like it's a pretty fantastic process they have on their website, and they have affordable payment plans. That's probably the biggest key to making trips affordable, is you can pay bi-weekly or monthly. You just have to pay the full amount of the trip before you go on the trip, obviously. But they have some meals included and some activities included within the base price of the trip. Other excursions and other food and souvenirs and tips for your bus driver and your tour guide are out of pocket, so that's something to be mindful of. But I do have a code, and I'll attach my link below, but it's very important that you use my link. It's for you a KDE 100, and it gets you $100 off on your first trip ever. So I encourage you to definitely take advantage of getting $100 off, and they have sales going on throughout the year. They have a huge Black Friday sale, and then they have a semi-annual sale. That will help you get $100 off with my code, plus whatever sale is going on. So it's a great way to save money. Totally recommend it, and I absolutely recommend the company. It's so much fun, and it's group travel. You meet so many cool people along the way. So now I want to talk about the Kenya African Safari trip on their website. And so they go to Nairobi, which is the capital, and they stay there 2 days. They go to Maasai Mara, and actually that's right on the border of Tanzania. And so for my trip, we were able to our amazing drivers were able to kind of go into Tanzania a bit. We were able to get a few pictures, so I can say I was in Tanzania too. I counted, so. They go to Lake Naivasha for a day, and they go to Amboseli National Park, and that's another national park in Kenya. And then they fly out of Nairobi again. And so some of the hot things of the trip is that you get to go to the Rothschild Giraffe Center, and we didn't get to go to that one, but for Kenya with EF Ultimate Break you do, so I would definitely check that out. You get to do a bunch of game drives at the different places that you're able to do safari at, and you get to go to a Hell's Gate excursion. And that's, I believe, where like the scenery of the Lion King takes place. So I would definitely go on that one. I wish we could have had time to go, but next time, right? TJ and I, it was just kind of a funny story. So the movie The Lion King, it hits way different after you go to Kenya or Tanzania or wherever. Hits way different. Basically, we watched it again when we got back with subtitles on. That actually takes it to a whole nother level, because we picked up on some Swahili while we were in Kenya. And for instance, Rafiki the baboon, we also saw baboons. He would be like, Asante sana, squash bananas, which Asante sana actually means like thank you in Swahili. So it's kind of like interesting what Rafiki was saying there, but Yeah, anyways, my point is that you will pick up on Swahili while you're in Kenya, and watching Lion King again brings the movie to a whole different level, and it's like you were there, and like, what a more amazing thing is that, you know, to be able to say like, hey, I was there where like Disney's The Lion King was, you know, envisioned out of. So that's one thing to note. And then you can also do a sunrise hot air balloon safari with EF Ultimate Break. I definitely like would want to go on a hot air balloon safari, definitely. We had an option to do it just with my church group, but unfortunately we didn't have time since we weren't there long enough. But with EF, the amazing thing is if you book these excursions in advance when you're paying and checking out for the trip, you will be automatically be like, you know, enrolled to pay not only for your trip but for the extra excursions. And so you'll be going on this hot air balloon if you choose it. So I heard from one of my friends who've gone on this that it's incredible. They went in peak migration season, so they were actually able to see like wildebeest migrating, zebras, when Mufasa gets trampled. Like, so sad, but yeah, that kind of, you know, envisioning. So definitely recommend doing the hot air balloon. That's something on my bucket list that if I go again with EF Ultimate Break or just go somewhere else, I definitely want to do a hot air balloon ride. And like I said earlier, the Maasai tribe visit is an optional excursion with EF Ultimate Break. You get to spend some time with the Maasai tribe like we did. And that's kind of wrapping up the end of the trip with EF Ultimate Break. And then you go back to Nairobi. And then it's kind of, you know, your farewell dinner. And then you're off to your next adventure. So even though we didn't get to go with EF Ultimate Break, or we didn't have a super long safari, I think we got a pretty good glimpse of what safari is like, and we got to go on land cruisers and just have an amazing time. We had a professional photographer come along on the trip, and he took incredible pictures. I will post them, you know, in this video and on my social medias. Check them out and check him out. I tag him in a bunch of my pictures because I can't take credit for them. I did bring my camera that I'm making this video with, but they didn't get as good as pictures as he did, so yeah. But anyways, with the EF Ultimate Break trip, again, I have a code for $100 off. I have in the description below, I have my link that you must use to get under $100 off with me. And I have some fun facts of the company. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Email me, message me, do whatever you gotta do. I want you, if you want to go on this Kenya trip, if you're not cool with going with the church, if that's not your thing, or if you don't know how to go to Kenya any other way, EF Ultimate Break is the way to go. And I totally, hands down, recommend them. I will be going on my next adventure with them soon. I will be vlogging it, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, definitely recommend going with EF Ultimate Break. Maybe I will go again to Kenya with them, but I definitely want to check out some different locations first in the world. But yes, so thank you guys for listening. Again, we saw so many amazing animals in their natural habitat like they should be. It was really breathtaking and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity and experience. So if you're looking to check something off your bucket list, do it, because you will not regret it. Like I always say, your time can't be returned, you know. Money can always come and go, and you can always make more money wherever, when you get home and pick up more shifts or do whatever you gotta do. But your time is just won't ever come back to you, and you know, and you don't want to look back in life and be like, oh, I should have gone XYZ, or why wait till when you're 65 or older to explore the world, you know. So many things can happen from like now to then, So why not do it while you're young? And God's gonna provide the finances. It's gonna come. He's gonna provide, and if you want to see and explore God's world, then do it while you're young. Do it while you can, and not just for social media, but also for yourself. And Kenya is one of these places that absolutely stole my heart in multiple ways. Not just with the children in Africa, not just with the safari, but really both of them. There's so much more to Kenya than just the safari or just the children. It's both of the amazing things that you got to experience. So anyways, enough rambling. But yeah, please feel free to message me if you would like to use my code, and I will love if you guys use my code, and just tell me after you go just how the trip was, and I promise you will not be let down. Alright, I will see you in my next video.